This is Movies in Contemplation with Jarokk and...
Oh, am I talking to you?
Yeah.
You keep saying you got something for me. Something
Hello,
you call
everybody. Welcome back.
Welcome back, contemplators. We've got a Cali pick today.
Cali pick today. We are doing... What are we doing?
Crazy in Alabama.
What? So crazy. Yeah, that's crazy.
It came out in 1999. Antonio Banderas is actually the director of this film.
He did,
It's
didn't
his directorial debut.
he? Yeah.
And it's starring his...
Agreed.
Agreed, Opie. Starring Melanie Griffith, his wife at the time. David Morse, Lucas Black, Meatloaf is in it, and...
Rod Steiger.
Rod Steiger. And also Richard Schiff, if I'm saying his last name correctly.
Oh, yeah, Richard Schiff.
Yeah. Well, yeah, he's kind of...
This is
John Beasley.
Yeah, this is honestly an all-star cast, especially the 90s.
For the 90s, yeah, absolutely.
Especially. Like, this was some heavy hitters.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about the wine. And before we started recording, I was reading the back, and this is crazy because this film takes place in 1965.
Yeah.
And I picked this wine because the car, it's this cute pink looking like Cadillac. It's the Beeler family. Born to Run is the name.
Born to Run.
And it said
Looks like a DeVille.
the guy that made the wine, he dropped out of school and painted a 1965 Cadillac DeVille pink.
Oh my god, I knew it was a DeVille.
You did?
I didn't even read the fucking list.
No, you just looked at the damn thing and you knew it.
Like a DeVille.
Yeah, so this person's debut of saying, fuck it, I'm going to leave school and be a wine maker or whatever. Connoisseur, yeah.
Bought a caddy and painted it pink.
Painted it pink.
It's salmon.
And it's funny because his dad made rosé.
Oh.
So I wonder if that's why he made it pink.
Oh, pink
But it's
rosé.
a Cabernet. And you know what? I'm going to try to say this in the gross way possible, but the neck of this bottle is thick as fuck. I'm trying to not be gross here.
It's not gross. I mean, fuck. Look at the head. Look at the tip.
It is like I've never seen the neck of a bottle, and the tip.
It actually really is. That's a good solid.
It is thick as fuck. I am gonna post this one on our Instagram because the image of the pink Cadillac is really cute. When I was a kid, anytime we were driving, I would get so excited every time I would see a pink car.
Yeah.
I would always be like, Mom, look, a pink car. I had like this fascination
salmon.
with pink cars as a
Yeah.
kid. All right, I haven't picked it, so
Yes, let
Bring it.
us move over to the handy-dandy Shakespearean notebook.
Okay, what did I get? Lisping, flap-eared, fleshmongerer.
We get fleshmonger.
We get
all the
fleshmongerer
fucking time, man.
a lot.
Yeah.
Let's see. Speaking childishly, having large ears. Okay, that's very literal. And fornicator. So who is
well.
a childish, big-eared fornicator?
All right, let's
All right,
find out.
let us find
Dig
out.
in. So,
Also, I didn't mention, and I didn't know until I started researching this movie. It was based on a book.
was it?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Mark Childress. I'm not sure how to actually pronounce that, but yeah, I had no idea. I would actually be interested in reading the books. I wonder, like, if it's told the same, like the narrative.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that would be interesting. So yeah.
Good. Well, Cali, what does this movie mean to you?
Oh, sorry. I was looking at your wine because we didn't really say how it tasted.
Oh.
I don't know.
Well, let's dig in.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I think I got a little bit of cork in mine. It's a cab.
It's dry, but it's good.
Yeah, it's good.
No, I mean, we like dry, but
We do.
No, this is actually it's not bad.
It's not bad, and it doesn't linger on the palate.
No.
You know?
Yeah.
Okay.
Not at all.
So,
Back to that question.
back to the ultimate question. I really like this film because it is a it is a dark comedy that highlights like real issues.
Oh yeah.
You know, like when we talk about like comedy, we hate push comedy and how when things are when it's like natural.
Yeah.
It's just
absolutely.
It's really good, and this is not the type of film to like watch to be like educated in like civil rights and women's rights and all that stuff, because I feel like it's twisted, it's like childlike, and it's also like it's good spirited. Like it's I don't know, to me I feel like it's all through PJ's mind.
Yeah, actually. Yeah.
Like especially what Lucille goes through and how everything is just happening to her in a way where it's like, okay, how is she getting away with
How's all of this shit happening?
Yeah,
that's interesting. And maybe that's something that the book can,
could answer that.
Unless she really is just this fucking, well, I guess you could kind of say she does deserve a little luck.
She does, absolutely. And she can also be childlike as well because, she
never got to grow up.
She never got to grow up. She was a wife. She had to be a wife and a mom for 13 of her years. They were together for like 13
years. 8 kids?
She had 6 kids.
Oh, God, 6. Fuck, I thought it was more than that.
No, it was 6. But 2 of them were her actual daughters. Dakota Johnson.
Was she like the baby?
No, I think she was one of the older ones. It was her like film debut. And I don't know what her other daughter's name is, but yeah, and I think Meatloaf's kid was in it too. Like everyone's kids.
He will do anything for love.
Oh yeah. And another thing, like this film is also, it's like a naive way to look at the like how the 60s were, like, oh, this is just the way things are.
Dude, even today.
Like
you still hear it, like it's.
And that's why I picked it, because shit that's going on, like, people still have that mentality. Like, I don't know why this is happening. It's not right, but you know what? It's just the way it's been.
Just the way it's
always been.
And then it's always the those were the times.
Yeah.
Those were the times. And it's like, yes, they were the times.
Yeah.
And
that doesn't...
we've moved on a little bit.
Yes.
Not enough. But a little bit.
A little bit, yes.
But anyway.
Yeah, but in this film, like, it was very, like, some people liked it and some people didn't. I really wanted to hear more about Antonio Banderas's, like, what he was thinking while he was directing. I could not find any interview. I found only one, but it was in Spanish, and I unfortunately never learned Spanish growing up. And Melanie Griffith, her Spanish wasn't that bad.
Oh, really?
Yeah, she was interviewing as well, but it's like, fuck, I wish I knew what they were saying.
And they didn't have subs?
No.
Oh.
No, it didn't. But some person on IMDb said that they liked the movie more after they watched it on DVD, and I guess that's the backstage stuff that you get to see.
Yeah.
And I guess there's also like commentary. Sometimes like the director does commentary like throughout the film. Mm-hmm. I would have loved to get a chance to hear, because it's like a weird movie, but it's good. But like, I don't know, I guess people either like it or they don't like it. I don't know.
And that's the thing, is that because this movie, it gets heavy. Like, it is that really like tongue-in-cheek kind of comedy, but then we get hit with some heavy fucking reality type shit.
Yeah.
And it kind of takes, and that's, I guess a lot of people, it's hard for some viewers to kind of cleanse the palate. Like, they go to watch something funny, and then they get hit with this fucking hardcore fucking dramatic situation that just comes out of nowhere.
Yeah.
And this movie gets you, like, what, twice with that shit? 3 times?
Yeah.
At least? With
At
this
least.
Hardcore, like, holy fuck.
Yeah.
Like, the shit just happened.
Yeah.
But that's what I think, is that I think that some people, they go to see a comedy because they want to see a comedy. They don't want to see that type of shit. Even though I love shit like this.
Yeah.
We love this type of shit. I want to be able to make me laugh, make me fucking cry, make me fucking do everything.
And also educate me a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, Not all movies have to be, like, super heavy, but I don't know. Yeah, we like a little bit of both. But let's get into the film. So the whole film is narrated by Pete Joe.
Pete Joe.
Played by Lucas Black.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this kid, he's been in films.
Any movie that had to do with a bayou.
Yes.
Lucas Black was in it.
He was like the perfect white Southern boy.
Oh, yeah,
you know, like...
He still got that twang.
He still has that twang. I remember, like, I know he's on, like, some type of cop show, either now...
NCIS,
something like
New
that.
Orleans.
It would... New Orleans?
Yeah.
No way. Of course it's New Orleans.
It's New Orleans.
Because I know it would play at work sometimes, and
Yeah.
I'd be like, oh, hey, it's that kid.
Yeah.
He's a man.
He's a man now.
And wasn't he...
Probably our age.
Yeah, probably. Wasn't he in that that sequel to Fast and...
He's in the Tokyo.
Tokyo.
One. The one that I still haven't watched. And
The one...
probably won't.
That's so funny to me that you've never watched the second one. A
The
lot
third.
of people... Or the... third. Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, yeah, that's right.
That's
Third.
the third one.
That's like the one that people don't dare speak of. Like it's a forbidden part of the whole franchise or something.
I'm not going to say that it was like a forbidden fruit of the franchise.
Not like forbidden, but it's like, you know, we don't speak its name. Like it's evil, maybe.
I don't know. I mean, I guess because Paul wasn't in it. Vin wasn't in it. Well, at the very end, I guess. But
yeah, it didn't have any of the main,
the
original cast.
Yeah, so it was like, oh, Fast Tokyo Drift. It was like they were trying to throw in these different characters, and which I mean, yeah, they brought Han in for 5, and
yeah, he was a good addition.
Whatnot, but I don't know.
But yeah, Pijo is the narrator throughout this whole thing, and they live in this very small, deep town in Alabama. I didn't write down the town's name, unfortunately, but
yeah, it was called
something like very like backwoods.
Son of a bitch.
I know.
Dude.
I know. I tried
It's
looking
at the tip of my fucking tongue right now.
Okay, well, if you think about it,
Okay,
if you remember,
I'll hang in.
Okay.
Go ahead.
But Pijo is like a... God, how old would you say he is?
Oh, shit.
Like middle school?
10 or 11.
No, you think?
I think. Maybe 11 or 12.
Like middle school?
Yeah, I'd say.
Yeah.
Fuck, maybe, yeah.
Yeah,
I think he's a little old. I mean, shit.
Because Taylor Jackson was 17.
Yeah, and he looked like a baby.
He looked like a little teeny baby.
Mm-hmm. So I can only think that he was like 11 or 12.
11 or 12.
That's
okay.
my thought process.
Okay.
I don't know.
Yeah, and him and his brother, they don't have parents, but they're looked after by their Meemaw.
Yeah.
As they call their grandmother.
Meemaw.
Meemaw. And Pijo looks up to his Aunt Lucille, who is Melody Griffith. And we pretty much learn, like, right away what's going on. So Lucille's married to this asshole, Chester. And like, Melody Griffith, she's just, like, she tells people, like, it's just, like, a matter-of-fact thing. Like, I have this opportunity to audition for Bewitched. Chester didn't want me to go. So I killed him.
Yeah.
And I cut off his head.
Right. I cut off the head.
Yeah. And she's pretty much like, Lucille's like, not like dropping her kids, but she's... Yeah,
leaving them with her mom.
She's leaving them with her mom just for a month. Now, you know, of course people can be like, why is she leaving her kids just so she can pursue this selfish dream of blah, blah, blah. But it's like, you know what, enough with the mom shaming. I hate how much, like, moms get shamed for having, like, any ounce of thinking about themselves.
Yeah.
Like, shut up.
Right.
Like, it's a month. She has an opportunity. And who knows? Maybe this job, she wants to be an actress, could help her provide for her family.
Yeah.
Even better.
Yep.
But yeah, there are like 6 kids. She loves them. They're all like, you know, crazy and wild. And she's making a road trip to California in like one of those 60s cars,
yeah,
right?
I don't know what that car was.
Yeah, what her car was.
I wasn't paying attention. But yeah, it was beautiful red. I love that red. God, I love that red.
Yeah, and Melanie Griffith's look, and even like her character, it's very, very Marilyn Monroe.
Yeah.
Like she has this something about her, this star quality, this like sex appeal, this charisma that's very Marilyn Monroe. But like, I don't understand why they've made Melanie Griffith's hair like, it was like jet black.
Kind of looked like she was wearing a wig.
Absolutely, she was wearing a wig, because she's a blonde.
Yeah.
But yeah, going from like blonde to black is like, ugh, you don't do that. But I think like they should have probably just made her like a very dark brown, kind of, I guess, like mine, because I think she looked great, because like the dark hair, white, like the pale skin and the red lips kind of thing, that is kind of like a 50s like pinup style. But I think it kind of like washed her out a little bit. Like I have the same kind of like complexion, and I've tried black hair, and I looked like totally washed out. And even like I had like a little blue hue in my face. Like it just looked sick.
No.
It's not like the best for light skin. But anyway, that's just but her fashion was great.
Yeah.
The fashion in here was really, really good. But she cut off Chester's head and she put it in this big Tupperware bin.
Oh, I fucking love it.
Oh yeah, and it's in this like brown paper bag, and she's taking his head with her.
Yeah, everywhere she fucking goes.
Yeah, that thing never leaves her sight.
Her. Yeah.
And then like Lucille like even tells like I feel like her and like Pijo, they just tell each other everything.
Yeah.
They're just like that connected, because she tells Pijo like, yep, I put rat poison in his coffee. He told me it was the worst coffee I've ever made, and I said, would you like another one? She's like, no, I don't want you wasting my money on blah 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 blah.
Cut off that.
Yeah. And then I cut off his head just to make sure he was officially dead. But don't tell anybody, Pijo, okay? Don't tell anyone.
Dude, she was asking for it,
She was asking for it, yeah.
This 11-year-old boy.
Yeah, like, but
however old he was.
Yeah, but she didn't know better. Like, I look at her as a child, too.
I mean, she kind of was.
She was, yeah.
When we get to the end, we definitely will talk about that shit, but...
Yeah, absolutely.
It is kind of like she hasn't had the chance to grow up.
Yeah, and the mom was, like, trying to, like, convince her, like, please, just tell them it was in self-defense, and, you know, they'll be... But she's like, nope, I'm doing this.
Yeah, I'm going.
I'm going. I'm going. It's my dream. There's Pijo says this, but he said that Meemaw describes Lucille. It's she lives like a movie that only shows the best parts.
Oh.
And I feel like that kind of ties in with her journey.
Yeah.
Because we really do see the best parts.
Yeah, we don't see any of the negatives.
So it's like, that's why I think it's through Pijo's eyes. Because you gotta think, like, how?
Right.
How did she, like...
Yeah, how?
How did she get so far? And, yeah. Oh, but Pijo and his brother, they have to move in with their Uncle Dove.
Uncle Dove.
He owns a funeral home.
Yeah.
And like
I like Uncle Dove.
Uncle Dove, he was great, and he had a really good like transformation.
Yeah.
Where like he knew certain things were wrong, and he had that mentality, and he even says it like that's just the way things are.
Yep.
But then he started to see like, okay, wow, this isn't good, and he's stepping up and wanting to help promote change. And we get to meet Sheriff. I just call him Sheriff. And his like first name is John, but it's Meatloaf.
Yeah,
I just want to call him Sheriff Meatloaf.
Sheriff Meatloaf.
Because I love like the shot when we first meet him, because we see the back of his head, and he's talking to Dove. Dove's like kind of like in front of the sheriff talking, and Dove moves, and then we wait. It's like a reveal that it's Meatloaf.
Yeah, I know. I thought the same fucking thing.
It's like, okay, we know it's you. We can hear your voice. Like, we know it's you, Meatloaf. Was this your idea to, like, come out? Like,
Dove, where'd you go?
Yeah. Like, you're the fucking star. And this...
Oh, but he is in everything.
Oh, but he is. Yeah, he's a standout for sure.
Even in fucking Spice World, he stole the fucking...
Oh, God, Spice World. But, like, this is a... Like I said earlier, this is a very small town where, like, nothing big happens.
Yeah.
So, Sheriff Meatloaf was all over Lucille's case. I haven't seen any type of action like this before, so he is like going like guns blazing, like he wants to. It's almost like he also wants to be a star too. Yeah. Because he makes it so like almost like it's a personal thing, like she killed like his brother or something. Mm-hmm. Like it's really very weird. It's like Lucille wants to be a star, and so does the sheriff, but in like a different way. Yeah. Because he's like, I'm gonna be the one to take her down, and I'm gonna to catch her. And the sheriff and Dove met at Lucille and Chester's house, and the sheriff is like, yeah, we're looking for the body because they can't find the body. Right. And Dove is like, did you check the basement?
The basement.
Yeah. Like, he has no...
The basement?
Yeah.
There's a basement?
There's a basement? Like, okay.
Is that what that door to the left was?
Yeah.
The basement?
And that was like a legit sign of like, okay, this dude...
Fucking moron.
He's too big for his britches. Like, his bark is worse than his bite.
Yeah.
But yeah, Chester's in the basement, and he's in a... What's it called? Like a deep freezer?
It is in a deep freeze.
That's what they're...
He's in a fucking deep freeze, and I love that scene. I loved that when Dove and Meatloaf are looking through, and Dove's pulling out all the shit, and then Dove just like, whoa! It just sees it. And he tells the boys, he's all like, you all stay up there on the stairs. Don't come down. Like, stay right there. You know, they wait on the steps, and obviously they can see what the fuck's going on.
Yeah.
And... he's sitting there rummaging through the fridge. They find it, and they're all like, well, the head's missing. And fucking Meatloaf has the goddamn turkey cutter.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, I got my wife one of these for Christmas. And he accidentally turned it on.
And you're like...
and he's like, whoa! Just fucking freaking out.
Like it was an electric
Like, those
cutter.
are those wonderful moments. Like, we are in this fucking eerie situation that is so fucking creepy.
There's a dead corpse in the freezer. With no head.
And these fuckers are making me laugh just because of this how fucked it is. But it's the truth. Like, you know, and it's like even in our real life situations, when we get fucking scared, we end up laughing half the time. You know?
Yeah, well, it's like, you know, comedy serves.
I've never found a dead body though, so I can't say that. But you know,
but that's what makes comedy so special is that you can, in a movie, you can see, oh my god, this is really, really insane and like eerie, but then like. You know, it's just something like so natural just happens. That's funny.
Yeah.
A part I want to talk about, because it's kind of like the introduction of the other part of the story, and it's when Dub and the kids are driving and they see the protests.
Oh, yeah, the protests.
Yeah, because it's 1965, and in 1964, that's when the Civil Rights Act happened, legally desegregating the South, but a lot of, I believe, like a lot of states don't, so southern states don't want that to happen. Yeah.
And I think that was around the time where the Democrats and the Republican parties literally switched.
Yeah.
I think around them. I don't know like the particular shit, but
and this is in Alabama, and the whole march that happened with Martin Luther King, it like started in Selma and it like went to like Montgomery, I believe. But there's like a courthouse of black people protesting, demanding to be able to register to vote. Yeah. And this is like when you really see like the innocent mind of a child and like how racism isn't born.
Right. Absolutely.
Like, it's fucking learned and taught. PJ's like, well, why can't they? I mean, they're just people. Yeah. You know, and Dove's like, well, I don't agree with it either, but it's just, you know, it's just the way things are.
The way things are.
Yeah, the way things have been. And I remember, like, being a child and not really, like, not understanding racism, because it never really was, like, it was never taught to me because my mom is a very, very liberal. But, like, I've always had, like, different types of races and ethnicities in, like, all my classes. Mm-hmm. And there was this moment I want to like talk about because I didn't understand it as a kid, but I think I was in like first grade, and there was this doll. It was I think it was called like My Singing Mermaid or The Singing Mermaid or something. It was this like mermaid doll that when you pressed a button, it would sing this like song. It's not even a song. She would just go. And when you dipped it in water, the fin would change colors.
Then you put your head in and you can hear exactly what she says.
Well, here's the thing though. In the commercial, they would dip the whole thing, the whole doll, in the water, but the voice mechanism or that part was on top of its head. Huh. So the commercial showed it, but My Mermaid stopped singing because my dumbass did dip
the whole thing.
I dumped the whole thing in the water.
Well, that was them
like
fucking
the commercial.
That was those fucking 90 goddamn commercials. They all did that shit, especially like the Stretch Armstrongs.
Yeah.
All them shits. It was like, it go as far as can be. And it was like one time I tied one off and tried to like run with it, and he snapped in fucking two like a goddamn rubber band. And I was like, ah!
Exactly. And it's like my memory, the doll was a lot more beautiful than it actually was in real life because I looked up the doll.
Yeah.
But I knew that there was a white doll and a black doll. And I showed mine for show and tell. And then one of the black girls, she had a doll too. And she had a white doll. And I remember being like really confused about that because I always, like, not even thinking about it, but as a kid, anyone that liked dolls or whatever, I guess for me, like, I would usually pick the one that would look like me.
Yeah.
Because like even those like American Girl dolls, there was one that looked exactly like me, and I was like, oh my god, that's me. Yeah. And I remember like and it wasn't, my mind wasn't like, well, she has to get the black doll because she is, and like you're supposed to have the same thing. And I remember asking her like, oh, did you know that there is a doll that's a black doll? Like, how come you wanted the white one? And I didn't understand it until I was an adult. She said, I didn't want the black doll because the black doll isn't pretty. And I was thinking like, well, why wouldn't she be pretty? She looks like you.
Yeah.
You know, like. And also, like, commercials back then with toys, all the toys were fucking white.
Yeah.
You know? So, and I think that, and I've seen it before, like, they would do, like, experiments. Kids of color would never like to choose the color doll or toy that looked like them because they thought it was ugly.
I think I actually saw something like that. I think I actually remember seeing something like that.
Yeah, and I experienced that with this girl, and I just remember feeling like so sad for her, like, why? Yes, she's pretty. She looks like you.
Yeah.
You know? But there's that, and we do get that throughout Pijo. He just becomes this.
He's just curious.
He's
color.
Yeah. And that's a good. And the thing is, like, yeah, he's curious and he doesn't understand. So, what he doesn't understand, he's going to try to figure it out himself. So, like, there's that pool scene when they're all in the pool, all these white kids are in the pool. Pijo is going underwater and just, like, having that, like, underwater moment of, wow, this is really... Look at this. And then all these bodies start leaving, turns around, and he sees...
Black legs.
Yeah. Black legs, the body of a black boy. And he curiously comes up to it, and then he pops his head up, like, almost nose to nose.
Yeah.
And he recognized, like, oh, hey, I saw you at the voting thing. And the other kid's like, so?
You better
what
get
of
away
it?
From me.
Yeah, and yeah, why are you talking to me? Mm-hmm. You don't want to be seen talking to me. And Pijo's like, why?
And how fucked is that? That's so fucking true.
Yes.
It's how fucked that is, especially then. Like
I know your dad, like, has talked about it recently because he grew up in this time.
Yeah, I think that he would have been very much like Pijo because he told me a story that he used at the time he used an all black water fountain.
Yeah.
Because he didn't know. He was like,
yeah.
I was just thirsty and I just went to go use a water fountain. And he got in trouble for using a blacks only water fountain.
Yeah.
And he was just like, I don't get it.
Yeah.
Like, why?
Yeah.
It's just a water fountain. And that right there, you said it, like the curiosity of like a fucking child. And yeah, but he does say, and he said that, you know, if you were white and you were even caught talking to a person of color or anything like that back then, you were like shunned.
Yeah,
you might as well have been a person of color yourself.
Yeah, you're a race traitor.
Yeah.
Isn't that? I've heard that.
Such an ugly term.
That's such an ugly term. And that just, and I remember even like, thinking that once I started to learn that some people, have certain prejudice. Why? Just because they have a different skin tone of you? Like, what's the threat? They're fucking people. And if anything, they didn't ask to be brought here. You brought them here. Mm-hmm. So what did you think was going to happen? The way you treated them for, I'm not saying you, but you know.
No.
White people,
like,
what did you think was going to happen after all those years of how disgusting they were being treated? So
right.
It brought me back to like childhood of that feeling like, what? Why is everyone getting out of the pool? Like, it's fucking hot in Alabama. There's a pool. We gotta swim.
And they obviously didn't have a pool for
people of color. People of color,
for the black community. They did not have a fucking pool. And those boys were just like, and then when the owner comes out and he's Jim, when Jim comes out,
Jim,
he's all like, how'd you boys get in here? Mm-hmm. They're like, oh, well, we just came in through the back way. Oh, you snuck in is what you did.
Because it's a public pool.
Right.
I don't think...
his fucking... everything Taylor Jackson was saying was on fucking point.
On fucking point.
Like, he was all like, there's a pool for whites only, but this is a public pool.
Yeah.
Like, I can be able to swim.
Yeah.
It's public.
Yeah.
And he was just like, no. And then he goes, they leave. Mm-hmm. They sneak out through that fence.
The hole in the fence that like fences the whole pool. Yeah.
And he fucking staples it up.
Yeah. Because then Taylor Jackson brings more of his friends.
Yeah, he brings like a fucking at least 20 of them.
At least 20 other young boys, and they were protesting.
Yeah.
They were like, we demand that you allow us to swim. This is a public pool. We should be allowed to swim. And, of course, the manager calls the fucking sheriff.
Oh, Sheriff Meatloaf.
Oh, my God. And he comes in and is just all...
Peacocked.
Puff chest, just... Well, what do we have here?
Yeah.
All
calm.
All calm. All fucking calm.
Yeah.
And I like calling it Taylor Jackson. That's just, I don't know, that's just like
Taylor Jackson.
Instead of just like Taylor.
Yeah.
Because he is such a strong character. Because like he deserves being called his full fucking name.
Taylor Jackson.
Because he was the one to speak to the sheriff and say, no, we want to swim. We aren't going to leave until we're allowed to swim. And Taylor Jackson's, he's in the back. So Sheriff Meatloaf, he just starts tiptoeing through the other kids that are sitting down.
He's literally just like, oh, excuse me, pardon me, scoot over there for me. He's being all nice
all polite,
to him.
Like, thank you very much.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, excuse me. And then he gets to Taylor Jackson and he grabs him by the scruff and he's like...
fucking picks his ass up.
Yes.
He's all like, and it's just like...
saying all this racial fucking nonsense and saying that they gotta go or else I'm gonna arrest you. And then Taylor Jackson's like, well, then arrest us. Yeah. We're not doing anything wrong. We're just here to fucking swim.
We're just here to swim.
And what did he say? Oh, God, what was the line? It was, or maybe it happened later. I don't know. Oh, he says, you are trespassing in public...
on public property.
He even said it himself.
Yeah, he said, you're trespassing on public property.
Yeah.
That's what the sheriff said.
Yeah, that doesn't make...
you're trespassing on public property.
Yeah. And then Pijo, he tries to stand up for him, like, let him go. Like, just leave him alone. You're nothing but a big old bully.
Yeah, and then fucking... Now all the boys try to fucking break away, and...
they're trying to escape.
They're getting, like, slammed against walls.
Hit with
thrown on the fucking...
clubs.
Yeah, and these are boys.
These are young boys.
Aren't fucking,
they're
like,
children.
They're probably, like... At the oldest,
like 17.
17
to maybe like 10.
Yeah,
because his younger brother was with him too.
Yeah.
Who was like I think younger than Pijo.
Yeah,
for sure.
And they're getting fucking thrown around and
they're all trying to like escape, but unfortunately Taylor Jackson and his brother, they didn't know about the fence being fixed. Yeah. So they thought the best way for them to escape was to go through that hole.
It got fixed.
They were trapped. The sheriff was going right for both of them. Pijo, he was like...
watching the whole thing.
He was like, not, like 10 feet away.
Yeah, not even.
Not even. And Taylor Jackson tries to climb the fence to escape. And Meatloaf grabs him by the shirt and you see this in like fucking slow motion, pulls him down, and Taylor Jackson hits the floor hard. Now, we didn't see any like blood or anything, so I think he might have just like, he snapped his neck.
Well, he hit his head when he fell,
he
probably got, who the fuck knows, blood rushed, I don't know.
Yeah, something, and because he died immediately. That's what it looked like to us. And Sheriff, like, looks down and he, like, knows he did something fucked up.
He even tried, he was all like, get on up. Yeah. He was like, get on up, and then he, like, poked him. Mm-hmm. And then goes over to the pool, and you just said it, he knows what he did. Yep. So he goes over to the pool, wets his handkerchief, and he starts wiping his brow, and then here comes Dove, because Pedro's brother went to go get Dove. Yeah. And Dove comes in, and Dove's all like, on what happened here, examining Taylor Jackson and the sheriff. And the sheriff is all like, well, I didn't do nothing. He fell. The boy fell. That's all that happened.
Yeah, it's an accident.
It was an accident, Dove. And Dove goes, oh, yeah, well, he ain't hurt. He's dead.
Yeah.
Like, he is dead.
Yeah, it was an accident. He fell. And Dove's like, oh, yeah, just like that other accident when that one other black person was hanging in his
In his cell.
In his cell.
Yeah, when the one fell off at some other place.
Yeah.
And when the one in your fucking jail was...
Yeah.
He just hung himself, I guess.
Yeah,
well,
by
you
accident.
bought yourself, Dove.
Yeah.
Now, whose side are you on? That, like...
Yeah. There you go. Like, whose side are you fucking on? But,
Man.
And then Dove is like, do you know who this boy is?
Yeah.
This is Taylor Jackson. His father is Nema Jack.
I have no idea how the fuck they say...
I think it's just like Nema.
John Beasley's character.
John Beasley's character, yeah. I just like Nema Jackson.
I think so.
I think that's how.
Yeah, I had no idea.
Let's just call him Mr. Jackson.
Mr. Jackson, very good.
That's very strong. So Mr. Jackson, he is also a funeral home owner, just like Dove, but he does it for his people. Mm. Oh man, and that scene where you see him like it's his grandfather. Did I say father?
I thought.
That it's his grandfather, I think.
John Beasley's his grandfather?
Yeah, because he's old. He's an old man.
Makes sense, I guess. I don't know. I don't remember. Okay, we can call it his grandfather then.
I'm pretty positive it was his grandfather. If we're wrong, meh.
Meh.
Yeah. But the scene of him just like being just so defeated and devastated, and he knows that
this is the time.
It's the time, and he's not gonna get the justice that he deserves. But then Pijo, because they're asking like, how do we know that he fell? Like nobody saw it, so we can't. Fell. Yeah. But then Pijo's like, I saw it. Yeah, I was
pushed.
He was
pulled down.
He was pulled down. Dove is like he's kind of like oh shit.
Yeah.
Like, he saw it, but at the same time, it's like, okay, maybe this can do something to help. Yeah. Because those two, Mr. Jackson and Dove, they're colleagues, and they help each other. But let's go back to Lucille. So her road trip, we don't have to get in like too much detail, but it's like she is legit a horrible criminal, but keeps like getting away with shit.
Yeah.
And she finally makes it to Hollywood because she wins a bunch of money in Vegas, and she meets a driver named Norman, who you see is like,
he's
obsessed with her right away. And this is a funny scene. So she gets to Hollywood and she meets this agent. What's the actor's name? Robert Wagner. He plays Harry Hall. Now. Lucy, she changed her name, her acting name was Carolyn Clay.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, there he is. I don't even have to move. Right there.
And we meet some other person in the industry, and then an actress. What was her name? She played Wilma in Flintstones, and she was in Weeds.
Is it Elizabeth Perkins?
Elizabeth Perkins, yes. There's this scene, they're all together in this, like, pool part. No, well, the party happens later, but I want to talk about the first meeting because it's really funny. Because there's this thing, and I don't know if it still happens nowadays, but like especially back then, it was like film versus television people. Being in film was like you were the cream of the crop, but then you're in television. Oh, that's so cute.
Yeah,
like she's such a fucking cunt, Elizabeth Perkins' character. And the guy that's with Elizabeth Perkins says, Harry, you should have Lucille see Hitchcock. And Elizabeth character, what's her name? Joan, there we go. She's like, oh no, that's my part. And do you know the funny thing? They mentioned Hitchcock, and I didn't know this until just recently, but Melanie Griffith's mother is Tippi Hedren. She was the star in Birds, Hitchcock Birds.
Oh, no shit.
And Marnie.
No shit!
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Isn't that crazy?
Marnie's the one with the yellow coat, right? Or is it a yellow briefcase?
It's like a yellow purse.
Yellow something.
Okay. And that's funny because she has like this purse or a bag.
Yeah.
And so does Lucille. She has that hat box with Chester's head in it.
Oh, yeah.
Isn't that interesting? Yeah, crazy. And Lucille, she carries the hat box with her wherever she goes. She doesn't let anyone touch it.
Doesn't leave it in. Doesn't trust it to be anywhere but by her.
By her at all times.
Yeah.
So she gets her audition. This is for the Bewitched show. And the audition is like, it's like cringy casting guy, and oh, she put on her charms with him. Like, oh yes, yes is my favorite word.
She wrapped her arms around him.
Wrapped her arms around him, got real super close. She had that cleaves, like she was doing her thing. But like, yeah, like men ruled at that time, and she did it. She got her spot, and they loved her. She wasn't even that great of an actress, but she had that it thing. She had that Marilyn Monroe it factor. So back to Alabama, there's this scene, and it kind of happens throughout the film as well, but this is like the scene, and it's like crazy because it's like kid against an adult, but the adult is not an adult mentally.
Right.
So Pijo is like, he's trying to fix the lawnmower.
Yeah.
And the sheriff comes up, and he kind of he knows that Pijo knows what happened. And he's trying to, like, threaten him, would you say?
Yeah, he's trying to threaten him, and he was pretty much just like, you know, if I'm going to catch your Aunt Lucille, why don't you tell me where she is? And then Pijo's all like, if you don't leave her alone, then I'm going to tell everybody what you did to Taylor Jackson. Mm-hmm. And the sheriff was just like, what was that you just said, boy? He was just like, I'm going to tell everybody what you did to Taylor Jackson.
And I love, and he says it like a kid. I'll tell.
I'll tell,
yeah.
I'm telling. He was just like, oh, did you tell? And here was the dead giveaway. Did you tell anybody else about this? No, but I don't need to. You know, some shit like
he says,
that.
no, not yet.
Not yet.
Because I remember that was in the trailer.
Yeah, no, not yet.
Not yet.
Yeah.
And he does. He gets like face.
Right into his face.
In front of his
a
fucking
lot
face.
of fucking into your
There
face
is.
in this fucking movie. And,
a lot of those type of shots, yeah.
And I had a teacher in AMDA who used to talk about getting that close to somebody.
Uh-huh.
And he would he had like 4 sayings about it. And I guess nowadays it probably wouldn't be like, you know, good to do. But anywho, he was like, if you ever get that, because that was what he would say in like some of his acting classes with us. We'd like, if we ever like got too close, he'd be like, the only reason that you would ever get that close to somebody is if you were going to fight, fuck, kiss, or kill them. Like, there were 4 fucking reasons why you would get that close to somebody.
Or, like,
so don't ever do it.
Or maybe like threaten.
Well, I guess that kind of ties into the fight.
With the fight, yeah.
But he was like, or no, well, he broke it down to the 2. He'd be like, the only reason you get that close to somebody if you were going to fight them or fuck them.
Yeah.
He was like, that is literally the only reason you would ever get that fucking close. And it's so funny because I watch this film and I see them that close, and all I hear is him saying that.
Fight or fuck, fight or fuck, fight or fuck.
And it's just so fucking bizarre that I'm just like,
well,
that is fucking a man and a boy, like, it's right there, and all I'm hearing is fight or fuck. But it's the truth.
Yeah.
Because, fuck me. But it's the truth, because it's like, you're getting that close to somebody. So that means it is, though. It's that symbolic of this I'm fucking serious.
Yeah.
Like, you get that fucking close. Like,
and it's threatening.
Yeah.
And I was thinking, well, what about Taylor Jackson and Pijo? But they didn't get that close. Face to face, like you were saying.
Yeah.
They still had, like, a bit of a distance. It wasn't. It
was still close.
It was close
for the in frame, but
yeah, but like it wasn't just their heads. It wasn't.
It was UFC fighter close, I guess.
Whatever the fuck that means, Juice, help us out here with that.
Well, no, there is no Juice. Doesn't need to help us out with that, in my opinion. And that's what's really funny.
Help a girl out.
Some of the UFC, there is. He will have to help me with this one, but there was a UFC fighter because I think it's so fucking goofy. Breaking off track real quick. I think it's so fucking goofy that UFC fighters get like right in each other's faces like that. It's so fucking goofy to me. And I'm literally like, this is ridiculous.
I think it's theatrical.
It is, and it's for the camera.
Yeah.
It's for the pictures. But there was a fucking UFC fighter who did, I can't remember who it was, but they were that close, and one of them actually kissed.
I remember that!
Yeah, he kissed the other guy.
I saw that.
Yeah, he kissed the other guy, and it was so funny. He pissed him the fuck out. It was so funny. I was like, I love it, dude. But yeah, that's what it is. They get like right up in each other's nose, and it's just like
it just looks so sexual to me.
It does.
It does. Like animalistic sexual.
And again, it goes right back to what Taylor was saying. It was you're either gonna fight or you're gonna fuck.
The teacher?
Like that's the only reason you're not, and it's
that's true. But also, it's like, there's like sexual tension and also that like anger I can't help but see that and still feel both energies.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Like, I know they're trying to be, like, intimidating, like, what, you want to fight, but if there's some sexual tension and energy going on in there, I'm all for it.
Right.
But yeah, like, the sheriff gets in, and he's also, like, just like how adults will do it with, like, children, too, because they're face-to-face, but the sheriff is also, like, above him a little bit, like talking down. If you don't keep your mouth shut, I'm gonna make sure that your aunt goes into the electric chair until her lips burn off and her eyes pop out.
Yeah.
You don't say that to a fucking child. And even Dove says that. I don't like him talking to you like that.
He's not man enough to come and talk to me.
Exactly.
That's what, and honestly, David Morse is just so fucking good in this movie.
He's so good.
He is so goddamn good. And David Morse, he's a tall fucking dude. Mm-hmm. Like, and especially back then, like nowadays, I mean, the physicality in the 60s and 50s and shit, it wasn't about your six-pack abs and fucking shit like that.
Pecs.
It was height. It was like meat on your bones. It wasn't about like being like incredibly muscular.
And it's also
per
your presence too.
Yeah.
Because like Dove, he's a very soft-spoken type of guy. Mm-hmm. Like he's the opposite of the sheriff. But he knows that he can hold his own. Like it's like
always the soft spoken one.
Yeah, it's like the big dog and like the little dog. Where like the big dog, they just stand there.
Yeah, the little one just wants to nip at his legs, and he's just gonna be like, "What the fuck are you doing?"
Yeah, but then it's like you gotta be careful because if you piss him off, that dog's gotta swipe one paw and you're dead.
There you go, you're dead, Willie.
You're dead, Willie.
Yeah.
Yeah. So. There's going to be a funeral for Taylor Jackson, and they're going to be how they do it is it's kind of like a protest slash funeral, and Pijo's there is another thing like Pijo does hurt his eye. It was the
the lawnmower. He runs over a rock.
It was a rock,
and a rock.
It was like a
rock. Got stuck in there. I thought it was a ball.
It looked like
a
golf ball.
Yeah, but it looked like a ball, but I'm pretty sure it was a rock.
Yeah.
'Cause that shit happens.
But
and Pijo got down in there and he was all looking at it and then it spit the rock out and got him right in the fucking eye.
Yeah, and then like rumors were going around that he got shot.
Yeah.
In the eye.
Well, they probably knew that the sheriff, and again, this may be book, we don't know.
Yeah.
The sheriff, there was probably a rumor that the sheriff went around and was threatening the boy. Who are we to say that Dove didn't say anything to Mr. Jackson? Mm-hmm. Who are we to say, Dove could have very much said, fucking...
He's threatening
Pijo.
Nephew,
I don't know if I want to have Pijo do anything. And then a rumor went around when Pijo got his eye fucked that... this little white boy got shot. It's not safe to bury Taylor.
Yeah.
Like, we can't bury Taylor. We cannot bury Taylor right now because a little white boy got shot by the police. There's no way that we...
what do you think is going to happen to us?
Can do anything.
Yeah.
Right? So,
but they still have the funeral, and Pijo, he's going.
Yeah.
Like, there's no fucking way.
Got a little eye patch. He got fixed up. He's all right.
Yeah. So, this is such a powerful moment. It's the... funeral protest. So all the black people in the community are marching. They have do they have Taylor Jackson's coffin? I don't remember. Someone carrying it?
I don't recall.
See, that's the thing. Like, they might have like had the funeral because it was just marching.
His John Beasley's character was carrying his picture the whole time.
Carrying his picture, yeah.
I'm assuming that they probably buried him by then.
Yeah, because they march straight to the fucking pool.
Yeah, they were marching all day, and there were it was very, very rare, but there were some white people that were there.
Yeah,
like there were white people there, and there were,
other white people waving the Confederate flag,
calling them the N-word, doing
horrible
all
things.
Kinds of bullshit.
Go back where you came from. Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, it's all kinds of ignorant shit.
Yeah, and then Mr. Jackson makes this speech. They're all at the pool, and he was pretty much saying that my son fought for his right to swim in this pool. I'm going to swim in this pool now.
This pool is a river of freedom.
It's a river of freedom.
And
Thank
y'all,
you.
I'm going to swim in this river today.
Yeah. And then everybody jumps in the pool.
When he got in, I'm not going to lie to you, I got fucking emotional.
Yeah.
When he got in and just started standing in there, I was like, holy fucking shit.
Yeah. And there were already people with, like, cameras there.
Yeah, there was paparazzi. There were paparazzi there. There was Murphy, who I guess he's some kind of federal marshal or something.
I feel like his character was a little bit of, like, I can't remember the name that I called it. He was like a throwaway character where we just, maybe in the book.
I'm sure he had a much bigger part in the book now that you said there was a book.
Yeah, because he was just there, and then all of a sudden Dove knew him.
Yeah.
And they were talking, like, I thought he was a lawyer at first.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
And from what we see, it's like, well, we'll get to that. Let's finish up this. So everybody else jumps into the pool.
Everyone else jumps into the pool. It's like a celebration. They're celebrating, Taylor Jackson's life and, how they are going to have the same freedoms. Mm-hmm. And here comes the fucking, not even the cops.
No, it was
It was a white mob.
Yep.
Because, like, townspeople coming in with, like, bats and just blunt objects.
And they were not fucking, like, really... the sheriff made arrests, but it was the police, and it was, like you said, it was just a white mob. Mm-hmm. And they were beating the shit out of everybody at the club. They were even beating the white people that were there.
Yeah.
They were beating the fucking white people that were there. And again, that goes right back to what we said earlier. Like, if you were white and you fucking stood with the people of color that time, then that was what it was.
Yeah, you
got if you stood with the black community, you were not considered white anymore. Mm-hmm. So they'd treat you just like they would them. So they'd beat the shit out of them. And then while all that was going on, and I love this moment.
Yeah.
All that shit was going on, and Taylor's brother got into the pool. It just was floating.
It was such a slow moment because all this madness is happening in the background, and you see the brother he takes off his shoes. He takes off his jacket, and he just slowly starts to walk into the pool. And he's, like, floating on his back with his arms out to a T.
Yeah.
Just, such a strong moment of all the fucking chaos that's happening. They just wanted to swim.
They just wanted to fucking swim.
They just wanted to swim in a fucking pool in summer.
They just wanted equality.
Yeah.
And I'm over here fucking... Today, I just played fucking Detroit, whatever that fucking game for the PS4 was. And that's essentially what this game is about. It's about the robots just want to fucking live.
Yeah.
And it's like, and what gets me is that people will play shit like that and be like, oh, I understand, I get it. And it's like, but God forbid you go back in history and you fucking look at what happened and see even today that kind of shit is still fucking happening.
Yeah.
It's like, but again, I guess it takes a video game of robots or fucking zombies turning into humans or some bullshit for you to fucking be like, oh, I got a heart. That means something. Yeah. It's like, get the fuck out of here.
Get the fuck out of here.
Moving on.
But, all these, like the paparazzi, they were there, and Pijo, because he's like grabbing on to this black girl.
Fuck, he bumped into her. He didn't even fucking grab her.
That's right.
They bumped into each other.
They just bumped into each other.
And the paparazzi bumped into them and got a picture of them.
Yeah, and
like,
the photo looked like he was hugging her, trying to like save her.
Yeah.
So I'm talking like the magazine that the photographer worked for, I guess, put him on the cover
of Look magazine.
Look magazine, and he was starting to be looked at as a hero, but he really didn't do anything. It was fucking Taylor Jackson that did something.
Yeah, and,
yeah, like that's the thing. Like, and even Pijo didn't understand. Like, why are they doing that? Like, I just bumped into this girl.
There.
I was just there. Yeah, exactly.
Him and his brother were there. Murphy, the guy that they didn't explain.
Yeah.
Who he was. Murphy was the one that got the boys out. He was the one that kept the boys safe.
Yeah.
So, yeah, and then they arrested Taylor Jackson's dad, John Beasley. They arrested John Beasley.
Yeah, and he just came up to the sheriff, just totally peaceful, and
the sheriff literally was like, I'd hate to do this, John, but I gotta do it. And he goes, I really doubt that you hate to do this. Like, I actually think you might enjoy it.
Yeah.
And then he goes, you could put these on yourself.
Yeah. And then the sheriff gets interviewed by the news, and the news even said, yeah, this was just a peaceful demonstration. And the sheriff's like, no, it was them. They were the ones that started getting violent. We were just protecting ourselves and protecting Yep. Get the fuck out of here.
Yep.
And that's like also like how the media is too.
Oh yeah, the media, yeah.
You know, like
they just stirring the pot.
Stirring the pot, keeping it boiling.
Well, today they're stirring the pot. I mean,
and today, I'm sure the media did it
back then too.
Back then,
that's funny. In Detroit Being Human, the game I'm playing, the media does the same fucking thing.
Oh my god,
it's so fucking bizarre. It's like, oh my god, like that's the game to play. If y'all haven't played fucking Detroit Being Human right now, play it because we're living that shit.
Yeah,
like Jesus Christ.
And there's also a moment MLK comes to town.
Oh, yeah. ML.
What happened in the town, it's because of the magazine. It started getting all this like publicity. And he came and spoke. We didn't really get to see his face. It was just like a silhouette of him. Yeah. And Pijo was there, and he got to like listen to his speech, and someone, I guess, that worked with MLK saw Pijo, and Pijo got to meet him, and MLK like shook his hand, put his like hand by his like head, and I think like Pijo had a moment, was like, okay, now I kind of get it. Now I get why Taylor Jackson's death and everything that's going on is so important, was because Taylor was fighting for freedom.
Right. And
that's what this community is fighting for. Like he's starting to kind of like get why, because his whole thing is like, well, what's the big deal? Oh, okay, now I see. This is a big deal, and I understand, and I'm proud to be on the side that I am on. I think. I guess we can get a little back to Lucille and what brings her back to Alabama and her trial, because she pretty much is getting everything that she wants, and she has this moment like after shooting Bewitched where I call it like basking in like the moment, saving in the moment. She was in like the studio, and she was just like, oh, look, I did it. And I didn't mention, but throughout the Lucille's parts in the film, Chester's talking to her.
Oh yeah, that's right, I forgot
Lucille.
About it. Lucille. Yeah, he's like, his head is
his head is like talking to her, and she talks back. She's like,
Chester, you better shut up. I'm sick of it.
Yeah, look, Chester, look, I did it.
Yeah. And she can't find a river deep enough worthy to have him.
Yes, because she wants to drop his head in a river, but she couldn't find a river deep enough. Mm-hmm. So she goes to a party with her agent, and the agent is like, look, they love you. They want your Bewitched role to be a reoccurring role. Yeah. Now, like, this is it. You're going to be a star, and I don't want to hold you down to TV yet. And he says something, because they're in, like, a car, and he said, you know what one of my life's ambition is? To see what you finally got in that hat box. Yep. And I didn't mention, Lucille also, she got to see a copy of that magazine that Pijo's in. Oh, yeah. So she has that on her mind, and she has this realization, like, oh, fuck, I can't run from this anymore. If I have to leave for a little while, don't get mad. Like, she's having that moment of, I can't keep running anymore. I need to go home. But not before you go to a swanky Hollywood party. Right. And this is another moment where it was very, kind of like the Vegas scene, where everything is, like, just happy. But this moment isn't happy because it's the house of the film actress, Joan. I believe it's her house. Or the other.
It's her and her husband.
Her and her husband, yeah. And Lucille puts her hat box in a room, and she leaves, and then we hear Chester's voice going, all right, I'll just sit right here. All right, doggies.
Like, yeah, because she had fucking chihuahuas.
Yeah, Joan had all these, like, fucking little baby chihuahuas, and they opened up the hat box. Mm-hmm. And Joan finds herself in that room. She looks into the hat box. She opens the Tupperware thing. She sees the head. Yeah. And her reaction and what happens, to me, it's another, like, childlike thing where she's so stunned. She's, like... Walking around, like, in almost like a trance. Like, she couldn't believe what she's seeing, and she's bumping into people. And then she runs into a fucking glass wall.
That was the funniest, dumbest fucking thing. Because she literally was like, oh, like, fucking, oh, I'm coming, Walter, and, like... Yeah. her hand is the thing that broke the glass.
Yeah.
So it's like, obviously, okay, yeah, sugar glass, but it's like, boom!
And she falls into the pool, and she has that, like, her face is just like, oh.
And she's laughing.
And
like,
she's
just
laughing.
like, ah!
Like, okay, yeah, this isn't real
That was
life.
the comical shit. So,
That was
yeah.
the comical shit. And Lucille, she attempts to come back, but Norman, we find out he's been following her this whole fucking time. They get to the Golden Gate Bridge, and Lucille's like, okay, this is it. This is where I'm going to drop the head. But she gets stopped by the police because they think that she's going to, like, commit suicide.
I think Norman actually, I don't know how he called him, but I think somehow Norman...
Do you think he called?
I think he informed the police that she was going to, because he said something.
Oh.
He said something that made me think that he...
Yeah, because he didn't know what was...
Informed the police, because he, I bet, thought that she was going to
She was going to do it.
She's like, Norman, no questions.
Yeah.
You know, I'm going to this bridge. And then she's hanging off it, and the cop comes up, and the cop's all like, no, don't move. And then the other cop comes up and goes, well, don't take your hands off her, because she still might jump.
Yeah.
This you? There's a lot of cash here. Because she won it in Vegas.
Yeah.
But, all that shit, and then he looks into the box, and he has another, like...
Another
comical
Joan moment,
fucking,
yeah.
He's just, what the hell? It just passes out. Everybody sees Chester's head fucking, like, passes out.
Yeah.
And it's like, this is a cop.
Yeah.
And it's like, and the other guy's like, Bill?
Yeah, and, so Lucille gets flown back to Alabama, and she has, like, a mob. She comes home like a fucking celebrity.
Yeah, and she looks like it, too.
And she looks fabulous. She's cuffed, and she's just like waving, oh, hi, everybody. Oh, Peach, oh, you came to see me. Come and visit me in jail. And the sheriff, oh my God, and this is the sheriff's moment, too, because cameras are on him, and he's like, well, I've been looking, like he did the whole thing. It was all him.
Yeah.
He caught her. He's bringing her to justice.
Yeah.
Like,
man.
he was all, like, face camera, like, look at me, look what I did. I'm going to be famous, too. But no one gave a shit about him.
Right.
It was all Lucille. We could go straight to the trial, because that's, like, kind of the end. But there is a moment when Mr. Jackson and...
Oh, they're in the same...
They're in this... Well, yeah, they're like...
They're next to each other.
They're next to each other in jail, and it is like a really... It's a sweet moment, because it's like, even though, like, with... I don't know about Lucille, but... Because we really didn't learn yet what exactly Chester has done. We just always knew that, okay, he was a horrible husband, but we haven't gotten details yet, like the magnitude of, like, what really, like, made her snap,
right,
if you will. But Mr. Jackson's like, oh, I know you had an issue with the Snickers because Lucille was really hungry.
Oh, I absolutely did.
Yeah,
there was a moment where she's all like, I'm really hungry unless you got something to eat, and Mr. Jackson, he pulls a fucking Snickers. This was a modern fucking 90s rapper.
It was a 1999
rapper, and honestly, rapper to today, probably still. Fucking Snickers. Snickers in the 60s, because I had to do my fucking research on this bitch. I had to. It came in a box. In the 60s, it was in a box. And I was so annoyed. I literally looked at that rapper when he pulled that bitch around, and I was like, that's a modern fucking Snickers. That is a Snickers in a wrapper. That is a modern rapper. It annoyed the shit out of me.
Yeah, I know it did. But, like, both times we watched it, you were like, fucking Snickers.
I know, I was so mad at them.
Goddamn Snickers.
It's like we couldn't have gotten a vintage Snickers.
Come on, Antonio.
I know.
You know there's a, God, what the fuck? I can't think of the store in LA where you can get, like, vintage asteroids or something. It was a place where you can get vintage candies.
I don't remember.
I can't remember the fuck it was called, but it was the only place I knew I can get Abba Zaba candy, because you can't find that shit anymore. But this moment, it's like not finding like common ground, but it's like, I don't agree with what you did, but you know, I kind of I get it, because Mr. Jackson is like, so what made you want to kill your husband? Like, I don't don't ever see myself ever wanting to do that. And she's just like, well, I don't recommend it, but God damn it.
I don't remember because the Snickers blocked me out.
The Snickers blocked, but she says something that kind of made Mr. Jackson fuck me. Kind of be like, okay, I don't agree with what you did, but I can find common ground with you because I'm going through the same thing. Oh, she said, like, well, have you always been like good to your wife? And he's like, well, I try to be. And she's just like, well, just pretty much, it's like, imagine that the way society treats you,
that's how I was being treated.
That's how my husband treats me. And then he was just like, oh, okay,
yeah.
I get it, kind of thing. You know,
that's what's fucked. That's
the best way I can explain it.
Especially in the South,
especially in the South,
white husbands back then, and probably to this day, the fuck knows. But back then, yeah, they treated women like women didn't have fucking rights.
No, they had. We
still
have to fucking fight for a lot of our rights, and it's fucking disgusting for all of us. The fact that we're in 2020, where they thought, what type of...
And history is still...
Yeah, history is still fucking happening. But before we get into the trial, because that's like the meat of like Lucille's story for the most part. Pijo wants to testify against the sheriff, but the sheriff and I guess whoever else is involved in the legal thing, pretty much it was like they struck a deal like, oh, if you don't out the sheriff for killing Taylor Jackson, we won't send Lucille to the electric chair. Yeah. She has to plead temporary insanity. And people would even like ask her like, oh, are you crazy? And she's like, No, I'm not crazy. And even like throughout the film, like Dove, even he does kind of believe that Lucille's crazy. And from a outsider perspective, she has her moments where you think, there's like not everything is like clicking up there, but that has nothing to do with what she went through with her husband. So she decides, I am not going to plead temporary insanity. She pleads not guilty. And here comes the judge.
I have to talk. I absolutely love Rod Steiger. And
everybody has amazing things to say about this small performance.
Rod Steiger is so funny. He's such a great fucking actor. But in this fucking film, I just love him. And he's the judge that you want to get, I guess you should say.
Oh, yeah.
Like, that moment where he just comes out, like you said, here comes the judge.
Here comes the judge.
Like, he comes out and he's just like, okay, let's get this going here.
He's wearing, like, a bowl neck tie,
yeah,
too.
He had a big fucking, Flava Flav medallion on
that was the bowl neck tie.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
It's like this, leather rope that goes around, and it has, that... it was turquoise, because he had, turquoise rings, too. Like, he loved turquoise. Yeah. That was his, accessory, his jewelry of choice.
Maybe he was gay.
That would... Yeah, why not?
I mean, maybe... I don't know. I'm not just saying it, but it would make sense to some of the things that happen.
It's only weird because, turquoise is a huge thing in, Arizona. That was a big... And it's like a West Coast thing. Yeah. Turquoise, stones, rocks, whatever. But maybe he's not. I don't know.
Who the fuck knows?
But there's this
we haven't read the book. We don't know.
No, we haven't read the book. But there's this funny moment where the judge, he's about to start. And he goes, "Hold it!
Hold everything! Whoa now!"
You have to do it. You have to do it.
He said, "He goes, get them children out of my courtroom. Get them out, bailiff. Get them out." And he goes, "You two lawyers, come up here right now. Come up here, both of you. Yeah, I'm looking at you. Come here." He goes, "Now listen, you pull a stunt like that, I did that 30 years ago. You do not bring children in this courtroom, try to get the jury to be on her side. That is against the rule. I did that 30 years ago. Don't you try it. Don't you think that you can do that?"
Yeah, the kids, meaning Lucille's kids.
Lucille's legit kids. Her young children were in the courtroom, and the judge was freaking the fuck out because he was like, and it makes sense because it's like the kids could make the jury think there's a single mom, needs to be with children, all this. The judge was like, get them the fuck out of here because this has to be a fair trial.
Yes.
We cannot let that and the fact that he said, I did that 30 years
Yeah, I tried it too in my youth.
Yeah, I did it 30 years ago, and you're not about to fucking do it.
Yeah, the whole trial, it is very comical for the most part. And the weirdest part to me, and I still don't understand, and I've tried to look up why or what happened, but I guess forever it's going to be a mystery, because she pretty much is like, yeah, I'm not guilty. I don't feel guilty about killing him, but I'm not guilty. And the judge like stops everything. He's like, I want to see you alone in my office. Mm-hmm. Like no lawyers, no nothing. And she goes in, and the whole court looks like they've been waiting for a while. Because everyone's like not sitting like appropriately. They're all just kind of like having their own conversations. Yeah. They're standing up. They're turning around. And then she comes back and everyone's like, what did he say? And she just goes, he just wanted to tell me that he liked me and bewitched.
Right.
So we don't know.
Well, that's what makes me go back. That's what made me say, well, maybe he's gay. Because, I mean, because you got to look at it. White people who were on the side of black community back then fucking hated. Women were fucking looked down upon. Hey,
yeah.
Gay people, same.
Forget about it.
Right. Like, it was fucking, all of them might as well have been in the same fucking category.
Yeah.
So that's what makes me say, again, I don't know the book, but from what, as a viewer watching this film, you know, seeing the jewelry, seeing the flab, seeing how he was essentially on her side.
Yeah.
And the fact that he went in, and if he really did take her in, I loved you and bewitched. And it's like, and then they had a bonding moment to where he might have been gay. I mean, I don't know.
You know, and you know what? I actually do love that that's your answer, because not that I doubt your mind or anything, but I was thinking, like, if you fucking think that she went back there and, like, charmed her way...
Nah.
I would have been really mad at you.
I didn't. From me, I didn't get that at all. Oh my God, thank you. Because he honestly, he was up the lawyers. He was fucking with the lawyers, especially the prosecuting attorneys.
And the fact that you said that
the whole fucking time,
because he has this speech that happens after Lucille has her say, because he says this white jury.
Yeah.
Like, he is very clear to say white jury.
Yeah.
So, in a way where it's like, ew.
Yeah.
Like,
well, let's talk about Lucille's speech. And then we'll get on to what he said. Because I do love what fucking... what Rod Steiger has to say after as well. So
and also like throughout the trial, like because they had her on the stand, they did have Pijo, and I do have to mention that Pijo does out the sheriff.
Yeah,
he said, you know, I know who killed Taylor Jackson. It was this man right there, and that
the whole reason we're here is because of him.
Yeah, the whole reason we're here is because of him. Yeah, but while Lucille was on the stand, her lawyer. This is her lawyer.
Yeah.
While she's talking, he'll ask, like, oh, why did you take Chester with you during your road trip? Why didn't you just dump the head or leave the head? And she says, well, there was a part of me that wanted to bring him with me so he can see that I could do it.
Yeah.
And then she makes some other explanation about Fantasia and about the brooms, when you cut up the brooms and they get back together. While she's telling that story, the lawyer is looking at the jury like, oh, do you hear what she's saying? She's fucking crazy, right? You need to...
Well, that was their plan.
That was their plan.
That was the plan.
And she derailed that plan, so he's still trying to play the whole insanity thing.
Right.
So, Lucille, she does get a moment to speak. She wrote down every single horrible thing that Chester has done to her. Mm-hmm. And it is such a small moment, but it's like we knew all along, but we didn't know the details of how horrible this man was to her. Now, I don't want to go into like every horrible thing, but the highlights, quote highlights, was the first one, pretty much, the day that they got married. Instead of being with his wife, he went hunting for raccoons with his buddies and left for 3 days. when she was pregnant one time. They were at a football game, and her water broke, and he made her sit there with her water dripping down her legs until halftime. He beat her. He would beat the children. The reason why she has 6 kids is because he wanted her pregnant. She was pregnant for 54 months.
Yeah.
That's a lot of fucking months to be pregnant. That's like being pregnant. She was pregnant back to back to back with those 6 kids. Chester poked holes in her diaphragm to make sure that she got pregnant. And she kind of closed with, like, there are 2 types of ways to kill somebody, and it's the fast way and the slow way. I killed Chester the fast way, but he, oh my God, I might get, like, emotional, like, talking about this, like, ooh, I don't know if I can say it.
So, I'll say it.
You have to do it.
So she said that you kill him the fast way, which is how he did. She killed him the fast way, but he was killing her the slow way. With everything that he was doing, he was killing her. And it's fucking true. He was killing her psychologically. He was killing her fucking physically. He was doing all this shit. And I love that moment where she even said, because as a brother who has had sisters in, like, this situation and shit like that, it's like, she even said, she was like, there were things that I never told you, you know, Dove, because I knew that if I told you, you would go kill him.
Yeah.
Well, a little late for... Fuck, now I'm getting emotional.
Yeah, a little late for that, because she mentioned how many times she was sent to the emergency room, and she would cover her bruises and her scars with makeup.
And make sure Dove, especially, never saw anything.
Yeah.
She was like, oh, God, you know, and even Dove, in his moment, like, fuck, now I'm getting fucking emotional.
Yeah,
But David Morse sitting there and was just... And I know his look, and I know it's because I have made it.
I know.
I have fucking made that. I have fucking been in his shoes, and it's like, oh my God, dude. Like, seriously. Like, I can't. That's what's just so fucked. And then the jury finally decides, after, you know, they're contemplating, they decide, okay, well, she's guilty on all accounts.
Yeah, after all that.
And then
she's still fucking guilty.
Yeah, and then finally, here comes Murph, and we found out Murphy's like a fucking, I guess, a marshal or something, or FBI or some shit. He's some kind of federal person. Yeah. And he arrests the sheriff. And the sheriff says to P. Joe, nobody's going to thank you for this, boy.
And then also he says to the FBI guy, you know this isn't going to stick. And he goes like, well, it may not, but I'm going to make sure the next blah, blah, blah years of your life are going to be
a living fucking hell.
And that's sad to me, because it kind of rings truth to that time, and also still now.
Still today.
That
absolutely.
A white guy that kills a black person, especially a cop.
Yeah.
I mean, hell fucking low.
Some of them just get fired.
They just get fired. Like Breonna Taylor. Her fucking killers are just one as of now. This is fucking Friday.
Yeah.
Only one got fired. And, and we don't get to see this trial, but it's like,
yeah, it's just fucked.
It's just, it's fucked.
That's why people are like, well, times have changed. Again, not enough.
Not enough.
You know?
Exactly.
But.
Not fucking enough. But back to the movie. Yeah, well, no. It is the movie. It's he's probably going to go scot-free, but there's the people that truly believe that justice has to be served. He, like the FBI guy, this is a white guy. He's like, I'm going to make sure make sure that I'm going to do everything that I can to make sure that you fucking, like, that's what the United States
and we missed we did skip a part because it wasn't that big of a deal, but Murphy did have just a brief moment of trying to convince Dove and the boys to take the stand, because testify, Murphy was like, you guys have to do this. Like, if you want change, like we all do, you need to do this. Yeah. Like, come on. So, yeah.
Yeah. And then they go back into court for Lucille's sentencing. And this is the judge having his moment of, I have seen so many
he says
You gotta
that
do it.
yeah the judge was saying after, because it was his turn, the judge had to make the final decision.
He had to do the sentencing.
Yeah, he had to do the sentencing. So he sentenced her to 20 years in prison, and then bumped it down to 5 years in prison, then bumped it down to
5 years probation.
Yeah, and then bumped it down to probation, and then he said, now I'm pretty sure, he said, but before all that, he was like, now. He was given all the examples of things he could do. He was like, I could give you the electric chair, which I'm sure the jury wanted me to do. Mm-hmm. But I have never given a woman, nor will I ever give a woman the electric chair. Mm-hmm. And then he said...
he said something along the lines of, like, he has seen men
he saw men who were guilty as shit go scot-free.
Yeah.
Men who deserved to have the electric chair, be in jail, go scot-free, and people who were innocent get convicted and be charged and die. And he said, and that was his thing, was he was like, and I'm not, he said, I don't see you fucking pretty much a danger to anybody but Chester, and here we are. Yeah. He's gone.
Yep. C'est la vie. He said something like bonsoir. C'est
la vie. Again, yeah.
Bonsoir.
Again, it's just making me think like...
I love that you thought of him as gay.
Yeah. I mean, it's everything that was...
It does make the best sense. Like, I had it in my mind, but in my mind, because it was Alabama and whatnot, like...
And again, that's probably, again, the thing, because especially fucking Alabama. Yeah. I don't know anything about Alabama, but the South in general, especially back then, was just... Whew.
Yeah.
Even to this day. And we're in the Midwest, and we still have people like that in the fucking Midwest. And it's just like, Jesus.
Yeah, so she gets probation. She does have to see, like, a psychiatrist and whatnot, but she's free. Yeah. And everyone is, like, cheering. And the best, not the best part, but the funny part, when she comes out, there are, like... droves of housewives holding up empty Tupperware containers. And it's like, true, like, fuck yeah. Like, this is where, like, I think this is so an important moment, because it happens where women, wives, kill their husbands out of self-defense. They're slowly getting killed, but they get put in jail for life. They get convicted because just the fact that they're the ones that finish the job. Yeah. And it's horrible, and I still have seen it happen, like, throughout the years. It's like women don't get hurt. It's like, oh, you're not being obedient, then you just wanted to kill him because you didn't want to be obedient. It's like, no, this person was killing them slowly. Yeah. So it was really nice. And the cute thing is, like, she had all her kids with her, and then, like, Norman was there and picked her up with the kids in his car, and they were just going on a road trip.
But the nowadays thing with the women killing, like, I don't know, but you'd think that the judicial system would be a little bit more lenient now on the self-defense fucking thing than it was obviously back then. I mean, I don't know.
It's better.
Yeah.
But
same principle, I guess. It's better. But it's not as good.
Yeah, and then like we don't really get told what happened to the sheriff, but the judge did say that the pool is now it's desegregated. Yeah. But just because it's desegregated, that doesn't mean that it's still going to be a pool, because they filled the fucking pool with cement.
Right, so there is no pool.
So now no one can swim. And Taylor Jackson's brother is with Pijo, and Pijo's brother, they're going to like go fishing or something, and he's like, well, now you're just one of us. And they're just like, okay. Yeah. Well, that at least...
Now none of us get to go swimming.
Yeah, none of us get to go swimming. And Pijo's just like, well, at least something
got done.
Something got done. Something is changing. And it's still like just so relative to like today, where it's nice to see things getting better, but it's like it's not enough. Yeah. It's like we get dangled like, oh well, we'll give you this, we'll give you that, we'll give you that. It's like, no, let's just fucking fix
the situation,
the whole thing. But yeah, that is crazy in Alabama.
Yeah.
And, yeah, that's all I got. So, what did you think? Would you watch this film without me?
You know, I would, actually. I would. I did enjoy this film. I thought this was a really good film. And again, it was pretty much an all-star cast of the 90s. Will I watch it all the time? Probably not, because it is heavy in some aspects, especially right now. But, no, I did enjoy this film a lot. I did. So let's move on to the handy-dandy Shakespearean notebook.
All right. Who was the lisping, flap-eared fleshmonger?
We didn't talk about him a great deal, but I have to say Chester's Head. Because of just the shit that he was saying and the shit that he was.
That is perfect. Because Chester also cheated on Lucille with her best friend.
Yeah.
There's that. So, oh my God, that is absolutely perfect. Good job, babe. I'm really, really fucking proud of you.
Oh, no.
For this, episode. Not that I, doubted you, but, you were...
It's just, yeah.
You spit some shit that was,
That's just how it was, and that's what I got
yeah.
out of it. That's, what I got out of it, especially the judge. I was just And it makes sense to me, and that's why I, hope you read the book. I probably won't, but
I probably would. I probably
because
will
I
now.
want to know. I want to know if, if the judge was gay or if any of these things...
We get any information.
Any information on that aspect.
Yeah.
If not, then maybe that's where the movie wanted it to go. Who knows?
Yeah, who knows? But, what's your pick for moi?
All right, so my pick, and especially because during this entire fucking quarantine, and as soon as I found it on Netflix, I was watching it all the fucking time, and I just have to talk about it right now because
I already know
it is because I find it eerie and just fucked about how similar it is to the shit we're going through. But we're gonna do V for Vendetta.
Good choice.
We're going to do V for fucking Vendetta because of just everything that is happening, especially in America right fucking now.
Yeah, I knew
we're going to do that.
That this would be a pick eventually, even before the pandemic.
It would have been.
It would have been, yeah.
But
right
it's
now,
happening now.
It's time.
Yeah, especially because there's so much of the shit that has been happening.
Yeah.
And I have literally, and you know that I was legit watching this.
You've been watching this back to back to back to back to back.
because I was just this is so fucking just...
For weeks.
Yeah, it is just so eerie.
Yeah.
It's just the fact that this is so similar to what we're kind of going through.
Yeah, and it's on Netflix, guys. You can watch it right now
yeah,
if you
so everybody
haven't.
watch that. That's going to be next week's It's going to be next week's pick for Jarokk. That is V for Vendetta. Mm-hmm. So, we're going to close it off here. Everybody, thank you so much for joining us once again for a wonderful week, Contemplators. So good. Please subscribe. You can find us on all podcasting platforms.
Yes, if you can leave us a little review, that would be awesome. We are all over the World Wide Web. On Twitter, we are movies_pod. On Instagram, we are movies.contemplation_pod. We have email, movies.contemplation@gmail.com. And we are on Facebook, Movies and Contemplation.
Yes, Contemplators, we'll see you next week.
Bye.
Bye.